Greetings. Welcome to the New Calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel. In this final episode of the 5 requirements, not axioms or postulates, as you've heard over and over again or have read in thousands of textbooks. There are no axioms or postulates in Greek mathematics. And in this final requirement, we'll see that what it actually says is that the sum of cointerior angles is constant, regardless of whether a transversal cuts parallel lines or lines that intersect. In either case, the sum of the cointerior angles is always constant. And that is the crux of the 5th requirement. So let's see what it's all about. So we can readily define it from the previous 4, but before we complete the derivation, we need to show that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 2 right angles. And that's pretty easy to do because from the previous episodes, we saw that the alternate angles, the green ones and the red ones, are equal. And we also know, and we see that from symmetry, by the way. And we also know that the angles that form a straight line add up to 2 right angles. So because the angles inside here are all the same and the yellow one is common, it follows that all the angles in a triangle will be 2 right angles. Okay, and of course we've proved parallel lines in the previous video. Now the original Greek of the 5th requirement is very difficult to understand. So let me read it here just for the heck of it. Και εάν εσ δύο ευθείες ευθεία επίπτουσα τας εντός και επί τα αυτά μέρη γωνίας δύο ορθών ελάσσονας ποιοι εκβαλλωμένας τας δύο ευθείας επ άπειρον συμπίπτην εφ μέρη ίσιν των δύο ορθών ελάσσονες. Okay, so even I, who am Greek, do not understand all those words. I mean, I can get the gist of most of them. So, there are some, also the context and the way they're put together is very difficult. So it says, and if 2 straight lines coincide, actually symbiptin is coincide, but if they fall together so that a straight line, the transversal, crosses them, then something about coinciding at infinity or something here, this is very difficult, but it has nothing to do with infinity. And because in Greek you have context, so this doesn't imply infinity or anything like it. And something about 2 right angles, okay? So the only thing it can mean is what I'm about to tell you right now, because I do understand these 5 requirements better than any other human in history, better than Sir Thomas Heath, better than any other Greek who's ever lived. Except for the Greeks who wrote it, of course. I mean, Euclid understood these things, and I am the only Greek after Euclid who understands the 5 requirements. And I'm telling you that the correct definition of the first requirement is this: given any 2 intersecting lines and a transversal which crosses the lines, the cointerior angles on either side of the transversal have a constant sum. So what does that mean? Let's look here. It means that it doesn't matter how you move this transversal on this side of these 2 green lines which intersect, okay? The sum of these is always equal, okay? And also on this side, the sum will also be equal, okay? And if it doesn't even matter how you position these lines. I mean, they can be parallel even, right? So if we move this across like that and they're parallel, then of course the sum of those 2 angles, cointerior angles, will be 180. But it's always constant. That is what this 5th requirement is saying. It's saying that regardless, so if you had a transversal on this side, it would also apply. The sum of the 2 cointerior angles is constant. And that is what the fifth requirement says. And there is nothing about parallel lines in this fifth requirement, not even in the original Greek. I mean, not a single word here says anything about parallel, right? And I think that all the morons before me misinterpreted or didn't understand it. For otherwise, why would they call all these 5 requirements an axiom? Or why would they call them axioms when I have shown you that I've derived every single one of them systematically from nothing? I encourage you to go back to the first episode and see how I've done this. Okay, it is an ingenious derivation which no one else after Euclid and before me was able to do. So you are privileged to be reading and seeing this video. I'm not getting paid anything for this wisdom that I'm imparting to you. So at any rate, I'll also give you the proof that these cointerior angles on the same side of a transversal are constant. And it's very easy to see, because if you read here, it tells you that no matter how the transversal is moved, the one angle in the triangle remains the same. Which is the one that remains the same? This one here, right? Okay, and they're vertically opposite. So these two remain the same. How do we know vertically opposite angles are equal? By symmetry, right? So we do a lot of these things here by noting that if you had a circle, okay, if you had a circle and the vertically opposite angles would be resting on, the vertically opposite angles with the vertex at the center, they would have equal arcs, so they are equal, okay? And all that happens is that if you extend the circle, you'll always be able to get the same arcs. So you can play around with this. I will put a link to this in the details section of the video. And so I think that's basically it. And there are no axioms or postulates in Greek mathematics. I hope that you have enjoyed this series on the 5 requirements, or τα 5 αιτήματα. And το όνομά μου είναι John Gabriel. Και αυτό το κανάλι λέγεται The New Calculus Channel. Okay, so basically I'm just greeting you goodbye in Greek. Till next time, take care. Bye-bye.